2, 1. I think we are live. Hello, folks. It is your friend CryptoFace and Gareth Soloway. I feel weird introducing myself with you being here. You know what I'm saying? We haven't talked yet. How you doing, bro?
Good. How are you, man?
Very good, man. Very good. You've been how's your channel been doing lately? Has it been growing a little bit with kind of the bounce back or
Yeah,
um
I'd say a little. It's kind of like a constant little grind up, So that's what it's all about. Just putting out good quality content, as you know.
yeah, I really like your shirt right now.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, beautiful red, beautiful red. That's kind of like when like in Vegas, if I like really want to go all out with a suit, that's like the undershirt I wear, you know what I'm saying, with
I
the
want to
black
see
suit.
you in a suit. That's
Oh,
what I want to
dude.
see.
Oh, man. Well, right now I look like I basically would just look like a bum dressed up, you know what I'm saying? But I'll be cutting my hair soon and cleaning myself up here. I think I'll be in Vegas for New Year's probably.
Nice,
So,
man. When you go to Vegas, let me know. I'll see if I can't meet you out there. We have some fun.
for sure, man, for sure. Anyway, so for anyone who doesn't know, we kind of do this once every other month or so. Me and Gareth just do a little kind of TA together and get in heated arguments, have major disagreements, and no, just have a good time. And I appreciate your time and your
Thank you.
analysis, man. And hopefully it's mutual.
Yeah, it absolutely is mutual, man. I wouldn't come on your show if I didn't think you had some good stuff to say, for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, I guess my people are used to hearing kind of what I'm saying, and we can kind of take turns and whatnot. Um, you know, I'll start off with my opinion first. I guess Bitcoin. We'll start with Bitcoin. I'll kind of just tell you kind of what I'm thinking is going on, and then I guess you can go after that. Um, Personally, I've been taking kind of like a break from trading for the past good few months. But this past pretty much month, I mean, I've been knocking them out again, so it's been really good. I've been in this last trade, I've been long, took a little profit last night, pretty much at the tippy
Nice.
top. Still in the trade, but things are taking kind of longer. I think we're gonna get into the 18s. You can't see my screen, can you?
I can't know, unfortunately not.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen really quick just so you can. Um, okay. Let me see here. I guess. Okay, share screen. Okay, boom. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Oh yeah, I got you now, man. Very nice.
Cool, cool, cool. And I don't think you have market cipher, although I'd give it to you. Do your own thing, which is perfect. You
I want.
click button.
I'd love to, at some point. I'd love for you to sit me down and actually show it to me because I am interested, man. It sounds awesome,
Oh, you're a terrific liar. You're a terrific liar,
dude.
Carousel. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen, bro, we got, dude, I mean, we have, it's just the truth. We have from hedge fund managers and we got everybody. I mean, all around the world, from single mothers to real killers, top 10 guys to
Dude,
teams, the hedge fund like teams. And we got a couple new ones actually over the Thanksgiving break. But
that's wonderful.
my kink, the kind of kinks I got to work through with them is corporate stuff, because they're not they're not really allowed necessarily to use it like at work, but when they go home they can, or if it's like a personal team, it's not a big deal. So that's
Oh,
something that we're working
interesting.
on. Yeah, but dude, it's keep it simple, stupid, man. That's all it is. And so whenever you
That's what
want,
I
bro.
like, man. For me, it's got to be as simple and so that I can understand it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, whenever you want. And thank you.
Thank you.
Anyways, I've been looking at the 4-hour and the 6-hour. This is my money flow wave, the
Mhm.
green red wave. The money's been coming up. It's kind of flattened out. I typically like just like any other pattern or anything, I like curvature, like nice curvature. And it
Mhm.
started with nice curvature. It's still coming up. It's bear market, and so we're always heavier in the red, a little bit of time in the green. Long story short, man, I'm thinking maybe we can get into the 18s. The 4 hour, it's been coming up nice, and so really it's just, man, I love having leading indications. That's the best part of that market site for Mr. Soloway is leading indicators, and
Nice.
so many people kind of like say they have them and they don't. But other than that, man, I don't know. It's kind of a simple one. I'm not trying to be too greedy.
Is
And
there, if you don't mind me asking a question, like what's giving you the 18-ish potential target?
yeah,
Is
so
there?
basically it's kind of just like measurements.
Gotcha. Like measured moves.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to watch my streams from the past day or two. Also, for example, like these are both two separate RSIs, even though it looks like one. They're just color coded. They change color. And
Mhm.
normally, like when it goes from green to red right here, you have about an inch. And when that happens, a lot of times there's there's still juice left in it. There's still another run.
Mm.
And that's just previously, I mean, our previous high rate here was in the 18s. So and normally in like if I'm longing in a bear run, I want to lower my expectations. So to be honest, at 17.8 is kind of a heavy target for me. But I'll take the 18s, and so spend a little time in the green. If it gets there, I'll take it. That's pretty much it, man. The long story
Nice.
short. So other than that,
Cool.
as far as like anything else, is there anything else on here? The weekly, also VWAP wave here. We call it VWAP wave, even though just because that's the starter indication that was there. It is not a VWAP. It's just the name that stuck with it, and so I don't want you to get confused. But anyways, just a couple of things showing that it's got some juice to come up. I mean, and just to keeping it simple, I mean, it's just repeating the same kind of pattern, even if it's getting a little weaker. So kind of just drawing lines, man. Just kind of drawing lines. I'm seeing 18, hopefully,
Nice.
and that's with Bitcoin. But so yeah, I'm still long. I took half profit out of it. Let me cancel my screen share and maybe you can share your screen so what the people came here to see. People came here
Nice.
to see.
Yeah, see if you can give me, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Maybe you can, there
Oh,
should be maybe the 3 dots on my box or something might allow that. I'm not
okay.
sure.
I did that on purpose. I actually didn't want you to. All
It's
right,
all
let's
good.
see here. Oh
But
man.
now, while you're doing that, couple questions I have for you is, so are you thinking that we have another leg lower then after that?
Uh, so my longer thought is I was expecting October, November, and December, technically early December, to have a little strength and have
Okay.
like a little relief, to be honest. But I'm thinking come January, it's I think it's kind of hard for me to say. That's how it's been since the top, since 64K. But I
Yeah.
think January has a very strong chance of being ugly. I think January's normally ugly. We've had a couple great Januaries. Last January was good, but it's tax time. Um, amongst many other things. And so it makes sense to me. It can't go one direction. It's been coming down. October, November is jolly. Tis the season. Tis the season. But after that, it's hangover time. So I'm thinking shit hits the fan again in January. You should be able to share your screen though.
Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, I could see that too. It'd be interesting to see into the end of December how much tax loss selling Bitcoin attracts. That's more of a stock market thing, but because crypto hasn't
Okay.
been around, but it still does apply to crypto as well. So, do people have, gains that they took earlier in the year or whatnot, and they don't want to pay the taxes? So they sell some Bitcoin or some other cryptos into year end to kind of offset those tax gains with some tax losses. But yeah, interesting, man. Definitely some interesting stuff coming into year end. So for me, I'm kind of in the same camp as you, at least, and again, we use different things, which I think is one of the coolest things about it is that, it shows that there's multiple ways. And when you see the same signal, like, or the same directional move, that's always the most powerful, right? So for me, just looking at the daily chart, this is a very, very crisp bull flag. And again, bull flags, you should see some sort of move up. I think the first big resistance for me is this June low, which is around 17.6. So if we get to 17.6, you could see some pressure there. But I think it actually could get through, at least in the near term, and kind of test these lows right under here, maybe around that 18.4 level, which kind of coincides with your 18-ish area as well.
Yeah.
So I think that would be kind of my upside. I'm in the camp where, yeah, I think come January again, we probably do see some more pressure. Everything to me doesn't stink like a bottom, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have those same characteristics. You don't have the panic jump out a window type Bitcoin's never going to survive and all that stuff. And that's notoriously what bottoms are. They make you think it's the end of the world, essentially. So the question is, how low will it go? I mean, again, I've been comparing recently the Lehman Brothers collapse in 2008 with the FTX collapse and kind of the similarities there. And then how long did the S&P take to bottom out after that? And then how much lower did the S&P go? And the S&P went about 40 to 45% lower. It took about 5 to 6 months. So if that's true, then you're talking like a Mayish potential bottom in Bitcoin. And again, if the percentages are aligned, and again, there's no guarantees they will be, but it would be somewhere around that 9,000 level. And the reason why it's kind of interesting around 9,000 is that it would break the 10, which would freak out a lot of people. Like if you're looking for where stops are, they're going to be at 10, they're going to be right below 10. And then you get back into that sub 10 level on Bitcoin. And I could see people getting really bearish. Like that would be kind of like breaking the camel's back in a way. So yeah, I mean, I think that's one interesting possibility. So for me, I think we're close to the lows. I think this is the final kind of over the next few months. It'll be like the final leg down. But then hopefully we do put in a bottom finally, and Bitcoin can actually start an uptrend again.
Have you been trading any of like this Bitcoin action specific? Have you been making any trades on Bitcoin, whether it's USDT? Have you been doing any Bitcoin trades?
Yeah, very little Bitcoin trades. Overall, very little crypto trading. Just because for me, it's there's just not a ton of volatility. Like even if you go back to June, it's I mean, this is for Bitcoin. This is not a lot of volatility. Like something like this bull flag would be tradable. You just basically look, if it fails, you exit. But like you could pop up. But again, the upside is kind of on the limited side. Like even if it goes to 18-ish or a little above 18. It's not that big of a move for the risk that you wake up one morning and there's another FTX scenario with another player out there. And that makes me a little nervous about, putting up any sort of sizable moves. That's awesome. You guys have been trading it. I think that's fantastic. One of the trades that I did not too long ago was near NEAR, which is this one. And this one, we're in from about 45 cents or so. And the idea here was that it was an oversold condition. You had a beautiful little bottoming tail right here. So basically just playing that bottoming tail, and it's floated up. I mean, we're up like, 15, 20% at this point, nothing crazy, but little trades like that I'll do, but they're really small. Like I'm not confident enough in this market to go long heavily. Definitely on the smaller side.
Definitely on the poo coins, as I've never even heard of near before, but I know Binance has a lot of the small cap coins. All right, that's kind of a little cowboyish of you, man. You're kind of
I'm getting a little crazy over
here. You're getting a little crazy right there. So that's cool. Yeah, man. Then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, one of the things that's interesting to me is like you have Solana, right? And we know that FTX supposedly has a ton of Solana, but I am kind of keeping an eye on it because it hasn't, like everyone was proclaiming doom and gloom for this like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so far it hasn't, and it's making kind of this bullish. I'd be curious what your market cipher says about this, because you got a little bull flag here. And if it doesn't fail and it actually survives, you could see a rip roaring short squeeze in something like that.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick.
Let me stop sharing my screen because I want to see your screen.
Let's take a look real quick, because fundamentally, I actually don't know. I don't know what the whole Solana deal is. I don't know. To me, it's like, do they own it? Do they whatever? I don't know. And so let's take a look see here. So is this Solana? This is Solano here. All right, let's take a look see here. So we have this is the 6-hour money flow is coming up. When these RSIs,
can you pop up your chart for me too? I hate feeling left out.
All right, boom. I forgot everything I was gonna say. Okay, that's all I had to say. Let's kind of start from the top. So All right, yeah, momentum. We have our momentum wave coming up a little bit, kind of flattened out a little bit here. It's not coming up yet on the daily. Going down to the 12-hour. Technically, it kind of has a higher low potentially forming there. These so these are two separate RSIs, and something that market cipher shows with these two RSIs in longs is when both of these lines are far apart, like far away apart, the move is less likely to stay there. So
Got you.
like if Solano does have a move up, I wouldn't count on it necessarily staying there from that sense. But going down to the 6-hour, I mean, it's clearly in the red, and the money's coming in. And just the theory behind that, man, is I call it money analysis. There's technical analysis, fundamental analysis. I like to track money, what the money's doing, how we do it, and how it's done. There's a couple different, that's the secret sauce, basically. Long story
Interesting.
short. But it's crossing over the 0 line. So yeah, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, I mean, just like if you look right here, even like the last time this money flow crossed up over this line, you take a little percentage. I mean, that was up 20%. Damn.
Interesting.
And so, you know, it's over it. I mean, it's starting in the green on the 4-hour, but in these bear times, again, it spends less time in the green than it does the red.
Yep.
So beginners,
cool,
look,
man.
it's probably not a trade I would take just because because this scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And so, but maybe with the smaller position size, yeah, I'd be down to try it.
And above, what's that? Is that a moving average that's sloping down above it? Above
Right
the
here?
chart?
Yes. Yeah, that's just
Okay.
a moving average. And then
Gotcha.
and these are also momentum wave. It's clipping on the momentum wave right here on the 4-hour. And so similar with Bitcoin right now, I think it's coming down a little bit, and then it'll just, whoosh, hopefully for you, whoosh back up overall. But
Awesome.
I dig the 6-hour. Right now, it looks like the position might come down a little bit, but overall, yeah, man, you might have something there. You're a
Yeah,
cowboy,
interesting. Yeah,
bro.
I'll keep an eye on it myself. Yeah, it just kind of caught my attention. And then let me see what else was I looking at here. Avalanche.
It's your turn again.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm just going through some of the coins. I'm sure people are interested to
Yeah,
see
take
these
your
different.
time.
Yeah, Avalanche again. You can see Avalanche kind of hit here, and then it kind of did get above this. So as long as it holds, I would say Avalanche needs to hold like 1330. I'd want to see price stay above that, and then kind of go sideways, and then potentially have another leg up. Upside could be back to this kind of low area around just under 15. What's kind of crazy is that, all these targets, like even Bitcoin at to 18,000, historically, it's such a small move percentage wise. Like, remember in the olden days where it's like, oh, Bitcoin just ran 30% in 2 days. Now we're like, oh, Bitcoin might go up 5% in a few days.
Yeah, man. Not gonna lie. Like, we used to be able to, when I say we, I really just mean me. I just feel like a
The royal we. It's the
yeah,
royal.
yeah. But like we kind of used to be able to move the price of Bitcoin, of course, at certain times, not any time, a lot.
Yeah.
And now I I mean, maybe I could in this market, like maybe come close or the same as some of the olden days,
Yeah.
but probably not. And but to be honest, dude, I mean, don't you think it's still a 3% move, man, is a good move. Are you telling me that, a 3% move ain't enough for Gareth? All away,
No. I mean, in a
fall
bear
away,
market,
sol away, fade away, sol away with the triple fade away. That's not enough for you, bro.
no, dude, in a bear market, 3% is awesome. I think that's what people need to hear too, is like, a lot of retail crowd, they're like, oh, you didn't get 20% on that trade. And it's like, dude, you got to adapt to the market conditions. And right now, if you're going long, you're not looking for 20% because you'll end up losing money because it'll go up 3 or 5 and then go down 10. Right. So 100%, 3% is fantastic in this environment.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Right on. All right. So we talked about Bitcoin. Is there any other cryptos you wanted to show, or anything else you're kind of hitting on that?
Not so much. I mean, there's some coins that are now kind of creeping into the top 20 or so that honestly I don't even have a good grasp on. I was looking at, and again, I don't know how much you know about some of these coins, but there's some ones that have had decent moves. I certainly am not someone who's looking at Dogecoin or SHIB. There's a lot of people thinking that Twitter is going to be adopt Dogecoin as their official thing. I don't know if he's going to do that. If Musk will end up doing that, but yeah, man, I mean, it's certainly worth keeping an eye on. Do you know anything about some of these other coins? And again, this is from someone who knows nothing, but like I was looking at one that was up recently quite a bit. It was called Trust Wallet Token, and it actually had a decent move. TWT. Let me bring that. Yup. Right. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I just noticed that that one had ripped recently up from $1 to over 2. So I was like, what the heck's going on there? Yeah, but interesting, man.
Damn, my microphone was off for the audience, but
Oh,
basically, no. As my long story short, basically what I said is I'm not the guy to talk to about altcoins. In my bot days, the beginning bot days, I traded altcoins. Now it's really just Ethereum and Bitcoin. Human trades Bitcoin, but the most important thing to me in crypto is when that immigrant into America that fought to get in America and has a business or gets a job, needs to send money back to their family. They don't need to go to Western Union. They don't got to go through a bunch of banking stuff. They can send it immediately for cheap anywhere in the world for however much. I can send you $1 million. I can send you 100 grand. I can send you $10. That's what's
yeah.
valuable to me with crypto. And so
Yeah.
I don't follow all the altcoin business, so I'm not the guy to,
And
I'm not
I
that
think
guy.
with and I'm the same way. Like, for me, I'm a chart guy. So it's if it has a chart, I can look at it. But I want charts of cryptos that really can't be manipulated too much. And then once you get down on the list, you start getting into the pump and dumps and some different stuff like that. So it just makes it harder to kind of trust the analysis. But I think one of the greatest things about like a Bitcoin is, if you're in a country where the inflation is out of control, they at least, if you're in Venezuela or some of these other countries, you have a way to kind of cushion yourself, right, from those 100% inflation type things. And that's also a nice positive. It's a universal currency, and it's a store of safety in crazy times.
Okay. So, is there anything else on crypto or what else you been trading? Gold. I put in the title gold. We always talk about gold, oil,
Yeah,
and
we
some
can
other
take a look
stuff.
at
So,
gold for sure,
yeah,
man.
what
Let's see what
else
we
you got?
got
What else you got?
on Goldie. So yeah, I mean, gold, played out beautifully. These were the lines I had in the chart. So you could see you had this dip, then you had the high, then you pulled back, and then we broke out. And then what I always preach is that when you break out of a level, oftentimes there's this necessity to check back. It's almost like a kid that leaves the home, but they always come back for Thanksgiving, right? Because they miss their family, they're used to being home, and so This chart broke out,
curvature,
and then it comes right there before it makes its next move. And then where does it stop? At that next pivot point right down here or right up there. And now it's pulling back again. So yeah, it's just kind of cool to see how, you know, the technicals show up on the charts and actually do kind of guide you. They're not going to give you 100%, you know, probabilities, but they give you probabilities that favor your trading. And, you know, I'm in the camp that the Fed, again, is probably, you know, overdone it on the rate hike side, and will probably pay the price with the economic slowdown, recession, maybe worse. And I think gold probably continues to be a good performer in 2023. And again, I think actually Bitcoin, if it bottoms in 2023, by the end of 2023, maybe it's starting to recover. I don't think we're going to hit all-time highs on Bitcoin for years to come. It's going to take some time, but I do think eventually we will. But gold, for me, kind of the low risk play that can cushion you from some inflation aspects and some craziness.
Do you think it's possible that for Bitcoin and or crypto to have a breakaway, like have a bull run with the economy, like with the standard markets being in a bear market and going through trouble? Like, do you think it's possible this bear run will say over the next 2 to 4 years, or do you think it's just gonna stick with like the stock market no matter what, even though everyone wants it to?
I'm in the camp, so I am absolutely in the camp that I think that at some point, either in 2023 or 2024, maybe 2023, you're going to see a flip where Bitcoin has been considered a risk asset. It goes down with the stock market. I actually think Bitcoin will bottom out and start heading up while the stock market makes another leg down. And I think the key to that, and this is the key, guys, is that once you get that transparency of regulation in the space, you're going to see in big institutions saying, okay, listen, the economy is falling into a worse and worse recession, which is not good for stocks, right? Stocks rely on earnings. If earnings are going down, those valuations have to decline. And so then the question is, well, where do they put their money? Well, right now, there's no one going near crypto in the institutional game. It's too risky. FTX just crushed any hope of anyone coming in prior to regulation. But you get regulation, you get transparency, you get rules where they have to get audited, they have to do whatever. Now institutions are going to say, okay, well, I have to put my money. Remember, institutions feel this need to always deploy capital versus just letting it sit there. A lot of investors, they want returns. Doesn't matter if it's a bear market, they still want returns. And so then there's going to be this pressure to deploy. And my hope is that that's the trigger for kind of this inverse relationship where stocks can go down and crypto can actually rally.
I worry about Bitcoin. I don't know if I'm really sold that Bitcoin is destined to go to $100,000, $1 million, because it's really hard to say because no one else really says it. Everyone, like, we're all supposed to kind of believe that Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million or even 100 grand, like no matter what. And to me, like, these quote unquote institutions and companies, they really don't. So I guess a small percentage may, but it's way more profitable for them to start their own cryptocurrency there. And maybe Bitcoin will still be the king, like the king reign. But as far as like the use cases and how good it is at what it does, I just think that there's going to be better cryptos out there that are supposed to do what Bitcoin does, but do it better. And these companies are going to be able to make a lot more money. They already know this. I think they already know. So to be honest, man, I felt this way before the bear market. You know, I don't want people saying it's a sign of the bottom because CryptoFace is thinking that it's never going to get there. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I like.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone's saying. It like when's the last time every normal person thought something was going to happen with an asset and that's what happened? Isn't it supposed to be the opposite? Am I crazy?
No, no, you're right about that. And I do think that there is a risk of that, right? So you get that regulation in the space and then big money starts coming in and initially it'll be Bitcoin, right? So I mean that's the one that everyone kind of cues on. That's the one where, you know, you have Mike Novogratz, some of these other big Wall Street guys kind of honing in on. But the question is, you know, in a few years is with that transparency, does there emerge a better Bitcoin that does what Bitcoin does better, right? And that's always a risk. And you're right, just like any investment, you have to be aware of that. And it's just one more reason why, you know, for me, there's a certain amount of money that I'll allocate towards my top two, Ethereum and Bitcoin, when I decide to really kind of start to load up. And then, you know, that's by no means, it'll probably be about 10% of my investable money. And that'll be where it is. And, you know, if it goes to 1 million, I make a lot of money. If it goes to zero, I don't lose all my money. And I think that's the key when you're an investor. You always have to remember, man, it's not so much what you make, it's what you don't lose.
Yeah. What do you have on your chart? I didn't mean to interrupt you and get
Oh
you
no,
kind
that
of
was just gold.
sidetracked
I was
there.
just kind of putting in the range that gold's been in here. But yeah, we talked about gold. We can look at oil here.
Yeah, let's look
US
at oil. Oil's
oil.
been coming down. Oil's been coming down.
Yeah.
What do we got going on now? I saw, you know, it's funny. I see on like CNBC, it's like oil pumping, price of oil
I
pumping,
know.
pumping hard. And I'm like, woohoo! And then I look at that, I'm like, God, it went up like 50 cents. Give me a break.
I
I've
know.
closed most of my positions on oil. I'm still long on oil, not like I was before. I definitely wanted more. I definitely, you know, I'll be the first to admit I wanted more, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm still proud of. I know it's been like it's a 2-year-old trade, so I really need to like get over it. But
Yeah, it's all good, man. I understand. So for me, I actually do think oil is going to go lower. I think the price action today is a great example. Like I heard the same thing. CNBC was like, oil's up big. And I looked and it
yeah,
was trading at like 82. Now it's at 77 and it couldn't even hold that. And I think they used the China reopening story as the
hmm
reason. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, well, that obviously wasn't a very good reason because oil's collapsed since the market's open today.
yeah,
The fact that it keeps hammering on this level here, then it hit here, then it hit here, and it looks like it's going to hit again. But the more we hit a level, the weaker it becomes, and likely you'll see a
yeah.
breakdown. Now, for a
Jeez.
swing, and again, I can't say more than a swing because ultimately I don't know the future that far out. But for me, this level, if you go back here, you got pivot high, and then right through here. So if we came straight down into like 65 and a half, I'd probably play it for a bounce there on oil. But I think the biggest thing to remember, and I remember this too, is like, you know, everyone's saying, you know, Russia's oil was going to be taken off the map, and we know that just got sold to China and India at a discount,
Yep, yep.
and then all these other things were reasons why oil was going to go up. But the bottom line is a slowing economy has a huge impact on how many barrels of oil are consumed. It makes the amount of oil that OPEC says, hey, we're going to cut back on the supply, that doesn't even come close. When you slow the world GDP by like 1%, you're using like millions and millions less in oil just
Yeah,
by doing that. And so the Fed hiking rates and all these central banks doing that and slowing the economy, I don't see how oil doesn't go lower in that scenario.
yeah. Okay. It's hard for me to imagine like when I look at the the price at the pumps. You know what I'm saying? It's like. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I'm kind of seeing things. Let me share my screen here
All
too.
right, let me stop
Let
mine
me
here.
flip mine over here. Okay, let me hit this button. Hang on. Daisy, whoopsie daisy. By the way, I hope you like my paint Photoshop skills. Okay, let me go to oil. So I was looking at the weekly on oil and just looking at the money flow again, like on oil. See, it's big green curves and it's coming to the zero line, and like 4 out of the 5 last times it's gone to the zero line. There was I mean, this time I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's going
right.
to go to negative $44 again, but I mean, when the money flow crosses over, man, like it can. I mean, you're right. You know what I'm saying? And so I see I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So I wish I sold. I wish I sold more. You know, at $120, but it's all good.
Yeah, it looks like it's right on that moving average now, at least, whichever one
hmm
that is. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
it's
it's a
kind of
lot
hovering right
slower.
there.
Like oil and gold don't move like crypto does. So
Yeah.
things you know take time to play out for sure. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got to say on oil, bro. So
No, I love it, man. Very cool.
yeah. Other than that, man, how was you went to Dubai and how was that?
That was fun. That was, I mean, it was a ton of work. You know, just being, we were at the convention, the conference, and talking to people and showing people stuff. But it was just so cool. Awesome city. I hope we can get you there maybe next year, because it was just like, the city is amazing, man. It's, the restaurants are amazing. The nightlife's amazing. Everything is just awesome.
I know I
Um,
felt bad I didn't go this time. Honestly, it's like every October the Dubai like events kind of come around. And like October, November, I mean, I'm sure it's the same for pretty much everyone, are just the busiest times.
yeah.
And also, you know, like family's important. I got to see from my grandparents, 90 something years, 96 years old.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
And
Wow.
you know, I'm also I have a lot of work to. We're going through a big rebranding, new website, new everything, and I'm already like behind on everything.
Oh, that's
Um,
exciting.
yeah,
Congrats
no,
on
yeah,
that, man.
totally. Yeah, totally. How's your trade group and all that stuff go? I mean, you were making a transition yourself a little bit, weren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I still got into moneystocks.com and verified investing crypto. And then, you know, over the last 6 months, I've branched into like the education side, which I think is like the most important for people, especially in a bear market. So that's going really well, man. Yeah, I partnered with a couple big partners out there,
Mhm.
and they've got, I do the content, they do everything else. So it's a great partnership.
Hell yeah, man. That's people really, man, if there's one thing that this Thanksgiving Cyber Monday Black Friday sale, my brother kind of is the one who said it, but he's like, man, people are really looking for a deal right now. I mean, we've always had good sales. But I mean, obviously this year, you know, sales are obviously lower. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Of course.
man, this Black Friday, we had a week long special, like 50% off Market Cipher,
Wow.
and dude, it was just like boom, like insane. Like we had
Well,
amazing just amazing sales every single day. And so I just think people. And we always get asked for court, like people just want to know, and I think they just need to be told simply. um and I think you keep things simple, and I think people have a problem with wanting to overcomplicate things,
yeah.
and so you actually need to like you if you're learning for someone, if you're teaching someone, you have to like remind them and hold them back from trying to make things more complicated and like just just bug-eyed and tunnel visioning too much on something that's supposed to be simple.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
always
I
something.
couldn't agree more, man. I think simplicity, especially for people that, I mean, like, I engulf myself in markets 24/7 almost. You do too, right? So
Yep.
it's like, but people that have a 9 to 5 job, they don't know all these little nuances. So they need it to be simplified for them so that they can still do it with their 9 to 5. You know, if you got to quit your 9 to 5 just to learn all these things, doesn't work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as far as Bitcoin's low, I've heard the rumors and stuff. I think he said maybe 3K one time. I I
Yeah.
I I I I agree. I don't think I would not be surprised if it got really ugly, because I think that's the only way. Like when people are like, "Don't you feel like the Band-Aid was ripped off?" I'm like, it's not supposed to feel like a Band-Aid rip off. You're supposed to feel
Right.
like you lost an arm. And I just think we had too much fake money, free money, PPP loan, all of that
Yeah.
garbage for it to just act normal. That's why. And you know, Gareth, man, every single time that the price goes up, and every single week, every single day, and I'm not like trying to hate on other YouTubers. A lot of them are my friends. Some of them are my friends. But there's always a chart, and there's always something out there that's like a bullish sensor scenario.
Yeah.
And I just hate to see people get dragged through depressed. It's like a girl that is leading on a guy that's in love with her, just but she don't love him back, you know. And it's like they
Yeah.
get dragged all the way down. And you know, I know you say you're not a hodler, like you don't like holding on to something that's going down in value, and I'm the same way. I think that's rare around here. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah,
No, I think you're right. I mean, if this, I mean, if you look at it, how many coins? I mean, how many coins are still out there that have almost no use case, right? That probably shouldn't be in existence. I mean, and so even
90% of them, like
I
all of
know.
them.
I know, and you look at that, and even with the fall to 17K, they're still out there, and people are still pumping them and crazy. Like you got to get to that point where like so many of these gets wiped out. I mean, 9K is kind of my goal, but you're right. I've said 3,500 in the past, which would mimic the Amazon.com drop in percentage from the .com collapse, which probably is the best replication of what's going on now. I mean, same thing happened then. It's just like it was insanity. And these
FTX ain't that big. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right, man.
Like
No,
FTX, like what's his face on CNBC? The guy like the old guy talks like that. Can't understand anything he says. Kind of like me, probably what I'm gonna be like when I get older. But you know, like the mainstream saying like, well, and people are saying if we survived FTX, I didn't use FTX. A lot of people didn't use, like FTX was new, and I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal, but I mean, now if Tether goes down, if Binance went down, that would be way bigger and way harder. And so, you know, I think there's still a lot more room to go and a lot more pain to be had, and hopefully not, you know, hopefully this would be great if 17 was the bottom. We just go sideways somehow for 4 years and then magically go up again. So hopefully that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. And it sucks to have to talk about that kind of stuff because, you know, it's not like we want people to ever lose money. You know, the idea is you want everyone to make money and do well. But the bottom line is history tends to repeat. And we've seen these type of scenarios over. And to be honest, you know, I just did a video earlier today about how if you look at the Great Depression and the 1915 period to the Roaring 20s, and number one, the chart. In fact, let me show you. Listen, this will be kind of the final thing we go over here. But it's just history is the greatest thing to replicate future. And the reason it is because humans don't change, right? We're ruled by greed and fear, emotion. And so you could go back to the 1500s and look at the tulip mania, right? Where a tulip could buy you a home. It got so ridiculous. And then it collapsed. And it literally, I mean, we know where tulip, you know, now you can get tulips at the same value as, you know, it's $1 a bulb or something. But so if you look at this, right? So this is from 95 leading into the .com. Here's the .com collapse. Here's your 2007 high with your Great Recession. And then look at the run that the markets had. I mean, just incredible, right? It puts the .com to shame, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah, it does.
And then what I love to show is if you go to the Dow Jones, and this is why I love charts, let's go all the way back to, look at that.
Yeah. So, my Lord.
So look at the same M pattern.
What happened after? What happened after?
Oh! I mean, if by the way, if that ended up happening, S&P goes down to like sub 1,000, which would be just horrific. But, and again, who knows if it's, you know, it doesn't, remember, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. And the point is that it's scary how similar the charts are that we're leading into the great. And basically some of the other interesting little tidbits here is that, you know, so in the teens and early 1920s, what was going on? Well, you had the use of the cars became almost like a common thing, right? People started buying cars and getting cars, and that changed transportation. Now you could go shop, you could drive places and shop and spend. The consumer started to spend. And then what happened here also is in the 20s, everyone started to get electricity. Yes. So now you could go shopping at nighttime. You know, before it was like it got dark, you had candles and that was it. Now, so in the Roaring 20s, there was this huge amount of consumer spending because of this. And then you look into the recent periods of like the 90s into 2000s, we had the dawn of the internet, right? And the internet, what did that? Well, now you can shop on Amazon. You can shop on any website and buy everything. And it creates this consumer spending. And then ultimately, we know that the Great Depression occurred, right? Yeah. So it's just these weird similarities, man, in the charts.
Man, that's more than similarity. I mean, that's like, man, I hope, you know,
let's hope it doesn't.
But I tell you what, you know what? It actually needs to happen. And if we really want things to be okay again, we actually should be rooting for it. But then most people wouldn't understand. That's
No, yeah.
most people
And
would.
we
but
get a lot of
we have
hate
these things
online,
coming
brother.
after us. Yeah, they be coming after us. But it's true. I mean, Peter Schiff and all these other people talk about all the time. Like we know we're supposed to go through the pain. It's just like a drug addict. Like if they keep getting high, that it's one step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's like, man, I don't know. It either has to end in a war, like we either have to kill the people that we owe money to or something, or pay the price. It's, I mean, man, it sucks. And but at the same time, it's like, so much stuff is overpriced, and I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready for shit to hit the fan. I'm ready to buy up dead. You're getting me hyped up, dude.
Nice.
I'm
I
trying
love it.
not
This
to,
is the side I love.
I'm trying not to curse, man. And so, like, it's been a little harder to talk. I'm trying to work on a couple things, but man, I'm ready. And if it is to be, it's up to me. And if I can do it, anyone can. I dropped out of college. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no genius or nothing. And so it's just, I always tell people to start a YouTube channel, use the internet if you're trying to do a business. Like, I've seen brick and mortar. I'm not saying brick and mortar business don't work, but I've been in the restaurant. I've been a business consultant. I've dealt with millions of businesses I've consulted of all kinds. And like, man, we have it so good, like, with opportunity. And so really there's no excuse. But at the same time, it's also, it's hard out there, but man, we're in the best time ever in the world. Would you rather live now or in the medieval times? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's no excuse.
Oh my God, forget about it. Yeah.
So save a little bit. I always say save a little bit and you take a swing. It's not we white picket fence. Mary and Joe save their money. They have a little hobby with little Jimmy and Junior. They have 2 kids. And then when they're retired, they have $1 million. That's enough. To me, it's, you got to save a little what you can, and then you got to take a swing, because saving money ain't going to get the job done, in my opinion, unless you have a very, very well-paying career. And even then, it's questionable. To save a little money, take a fucking swing. You know what I'm saying? So, all right.
I love it, man.
Word. Anything else you have to say after that?
No, dude. I think that's like, frame that right there.
Anyway, so man, thanks for coming on, and I'm glad you came in the crypto space. Been making your rounds. You're everyone's favorite person. I used to be everyone's favorite person, but I'm okay passing the baton. I'm okay passing the baton.
No, you still got the baton, buddy. And listen, we always have amazing discussions. I look forward to the day where we actually can grab a beer together, and we'll have to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure, man. So right on. Thanks for being here, Gareth, and toodaloo, man. We'll see you next time. All right, bro.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Peace, man.
Bye-bye.